Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel and we talk about it in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place. We're so happy to have you here today. And today we have to talk a little bit about The Fast and the Furious. The Fast and the Furious sequel has been announced and we have some information about it. So let's jump right into it. Alright, so if you didn't know, the Fast and the Furious movie was supposed to have its final showdown between our heroes and whoever else they threw into the movie, because at this point, they could have thrown anyone into the Fast and the Furious movie and it would have been absolutely acceptable. The problem is that the Fast and the Furious sequel just didn't happen. The franchise seemed like it had reached its point where it was no longer going to have anything else going on, despite the fact that this was supposed to be the second part of the final in the Fast and Furious franchise, and yet it just kind of vanished. Well, we finally have an update on it, and it might actually be good news. So what exactly was said? Well, this is what's being reported from around the internet and by various sources. Now, it says that this movie is going to have a spring 2028 release date. That is a long time to have to wait for this movie. But with all the effects and all the racing and everything else that's in this movie, I think if they get started on it this year and they shoot this movie, it could prove to actually come true. This movie could be out by spring of 2028, and that's not a bad thing. But that's not all. They have a lot more information about this movie that we can now share. It says Universal has officially dated the next Fast and Furious installment, now titled Fast Forever, for March 17th of 2028. Vin Diesel also shared the news on its Instagram, posting a picture of himself with the late Paul Walker from the original 2001 Fast and Furious film, and captioned this post, "No one said the road would be easy, but it's ours. One that has defined us and become our legacy, and a legacy lasts forever." Now, these movies have been going on for an extremely long time. From that very first film all the way till now. And the movie has grossed $7.3 billion, making it Universal's most profitable and longest running franchise. 2015's Fast and the Furious 7 is the top grossing installment with $1.5 billion worldwide. And 2023's Fast X grossed $704 million. Now, this also included an animated series and the spin-off Hobbs and Shaw. Now, this update on the Fast Forever movie comes after speculation about Diesel's Dominic Toretto and crew, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Ludacris, Jordana Brewster, and all of these people involved in this movie, when would they climb back into their muscle cars following the ending of Fast X? And the final moments of the movie left us with that cliffhanger. It left us with that moment telling us that yes, this is going to have a sequel. This is going to continue. And we don't know when it's going to continue, but it has to continue from here, right? And it just didn't happen. Now, unfortunately, before Fast X had hit theaters, Universal had locked in director Louis Leterrier, and I am so sorry if I mispronounced that name. I know I mispronounced that name. To helm the next half of the two-part saga, with Christina Hodson of The Flash and Bumblebee, and now the new Batman Brave and the Bold movie that we talked about the other day, to actually co-write the screenplay along with Oren Uziel. of The Lost City and 22 Jump Street. But the Fast and the Furious fans have been waiting to find out what happened since May of 2023, and updates haven't been happening. The 5-year wait will be the longest stretch between the movies that has ever happened in this franchise. And there have been several false starts along the way. Vin Diesel had actually announced that the movie was scheduled for April 2025. And then they said the movie would come out in 2026, but plans stalled while studio and creatives, including producers Diesel and Neil Moritz, aligned on the story and the budget. So, last January, Diesel declared that the globe-trotting franchise would return home to film in Los Angeles as a way to boost the local economy following the devastating wildfires. Then in March, Diesel revealed that there would be a direct sequel to the short film Los Bandoleros to bridge the gap between Fast X and the final movie. In June, Diesel took to the stage at Fuel Fest, a car enthusiast event in California, with his Fast and Furious co-stars Cody Walker and Tyrese Gibson, to tease that April 2027 is a release date window. And now we have that official word. We now know that that release date is March 17th of 2028. Now, this is something that's very cool. I like this idea. I've enjoyed most of the Fast and the Furious movies. I really have. A lot of them have been a lot of fun. And Hobbs and Shaw is one of those movies that's so far out there. It shouldn't have worked, but it totally worked. And Jason Statham and The Rock worked so well together that I have been pining for a sequel to Hobbs and Shaw since the day I saw it. It's probably one of my favorite action movies that The Rock has ever done, and it's definitely up there with Jason Statham, although he's done a lot of really cool action movies. Now, Hobbs and Shaw may not ever get another sequel, but this final Fast and Furious movie has to be everything. It's gotta be everything we ever wanted it to be and so much more. And I think that they're headed in the right direction. If they are really planning to bring it back to the beginning, to bring it back to LA, to actually have this movie on a smaller budget might actually be what we need to send this franchise off into the proverbial sunset, to give these characters that final rest that they need. However, legacy's forever, and he's not wrong about that. I think that there is a way that this movie does set the groundwork for another sequel, some other thing, a spinoff or whatever for this series. It could very well do it, but I don't really want it to. I think that the legacy should be the films themselves, that this movie should set up something that kind of gives the fans the ending they always wanted, and that should be just enough for the fans. I think that this movie is going to be okay, and I hope that it's great. But that, my friends, is where I am going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys are thinking. Does this news excite you? Did you ever think we were going to get this movie coming out? Or did you think this was going to be something that was dead in the water because of all of the problems that they've had? And do you think that it's a good thing or a bad thing? Would you like to see more spinoffs? Would you like to see another Hobbs and Shaw movie like me? Or do you think that the franchise just needs to die and everything with it needs to go away? Whatever you're thinking, there is absolutely no wrong answer. We're all just fans having a conversation about the fandoms that we love. And in this case, that fandom, of course, is in fact family, because it's the Fast and the Furious. And friends, that means I want to hear from each and every one of you. So make sure you leave me that comment in the comment box below. Let me know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends so they can be a part of this conversation as well. Then if you like positive content, let the algorithm know by hitting that like button. And if you like our content personally, you're going to want to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell so that you never miss a single video we do. And friends, at the end of the day, I know it and you know it. Fandom is family.